Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Bitcoin video. We've got a few quick things to discuss and kind of brush over today. One of which being the DXY is at resistance, the other of which being short-term Bitcoin price action. Then we're looking into the Bitcoin weekly and monthly chart. The monthly chart has a new resistance zone, which we need to discuss briefly as well. So before we get into it, check out the pinned comment, check out the description. We've got the VIP group down there. You can check out the VIP group's results for Q4 to get an idea of what kind of profits we're pulling. And ultimately, you can join up if you want to using that link down there. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. As always, guys, we trade on the Bitget Exchange, right? This is the VIP group and the YouTube channel itself, sponsored by the Bitget Exchange. 5 times lower fees than Binance, non-KYC, which lines up with the fundamental values of cryptocurrency. It's got a protection fund in case something like FTX happens to this exchange. You can get reimbursed on your funds. Ultimately, if you sign up using my referral link, you get a 15% discount on fees and other exclusive rewards. So go ahead and do that. It's the best way to help the channel. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's start off with the Bitcoin short-term price action. Okay, so Bitcoin short-term price action, in fact, we'll start with the daily chart. We can see kind of the overall structure of Bitcoin. Big move upwards ever since around the middle of January, so the middle of last month. We've been slowing down on that move. We've still been edging towards the upside, but we're slowing down. And we've got a red resistance box between around 23.8K and around 24.2K. If we scroll back to 2020, we can see that that red resistance box is stemming from a place in which we got rejected, right, just before the major run started to happen. So this is a horizontal box, horizontal resistance box that stems throughout the price history of Bitcoin that we are testing right now, we are getting rejected from. Unfortunately for Bitcoin, at the time in which we're testing this resistance box, which is very strong, right, we're also seeing descending volume, which means we're seeing the strength of this move die down. Yes, it's still moving to the upside gradually, but it's dying out. The strength is dying out. The balance is shifting from bullish power to bearish power. This is something I've looked into quite extensively over the past few weeks. We've also seen a bearish MACD cross, unfortunately, and we're seeing a bearish RSI divergence on the daily chart, as you can see there. So nothing really suggests Bitcoin will be moving upwards further in terms of the TA. And this is supported by the short-term chart as well. This is the 4-hourly chart. We can see basically the same thing happening. The ascending wedge formation, a typically bearish structure, breaks the downside around 74% of the time, forming quite nicely, and it's coming towards its apex. You can see that the ascending wedge, will line up with this resistance box, right, at a maximum capacity of around 8th of February, which means sometime between the 8th of February and now, we will be breaking to the upside of a downside. According to the short-term TA and according to the daily chart, most likely that break will be to the downside, but obviously that's not guaranteed, right? We do have something to look at in a second, which might kind of debunk that a little bit. So again, bearish 4-hourly chart, bearish daily chart. We'll move over to the monthly. We'll move over to DXY quickly, actually, because this is probably going to be like a potential saving grace for Bitcoin, right? We know, and we've discussed this quite a lot. Okay, we'll briefly look into it now. We know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, right, in terms of the range. I'm not trading Bitcoin until it breaks out of the range. The range is between 21.9K, this pink line here, and 25K. 25K is the top of the range because it's where these conglomerates of moving averages, the 200-week SMA, the 200-week EMA, and the 50-week EMA line up, right? They line up at 25K. So 25K is a major rejection zone, so we can translate that through to this chart here and put that pink line there. And 21K is a major horizontal support. If we break down below 21K, we will be going downwards towards this green box at 19.5K to 19.8K, or around 20K, which is the 2017 all-time high, roughly. And if we break above 25K, so breaking above all three of these indicators here, we will go straight to 28.6K, which is the major zone needed for a true macro reversal, right? I think the bottom is in, but a proper confirmation of a macro reversal will be at 28.6K. So now that we've established what's likely to happen when we break the range, we've kind of also established that it's likely the range breaks to the downside, or at least we see a retest of the bottom of the range after a break of the wedge. We also need to look into the bull case. The bull case is this. We know for a fact, and this is completely and utterly confirmed, we know for a fact that Bitcoin is reverse correlated to the DXY. Okay, I've looked into this so many times over the past couple of weeks, I'm not going to waste your time any further. I'm trying to keep this video short and sweet. If the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. If the DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up, and vice versa. Okay, right now we have seen the DXY drop below this pink line, okay? The last 2 times we've seen the DXY get rejected from this pink line was here, and in that period of time that followed, about the year that followed, Bitcoin pumped massively, and the S&P 500 also went up massively, but mainly Bitcoin did, okay? So we've dropped below that pink line. Bitcoin has been pumping furiously, the second biggest January in its entire price history. Right now, we've come back up, and we are about to see a resistance support flip, right, off of that pink line unless we break it. So that's very important. if the DXY rejects from 103, we very well could see Bitcoin against the odds go to the upside on the short-term and daily charts above 25k, in which case that would greatly increase the macro momentum because we'd be breaking above such a major zone with all three of those moving averages. So in terms of TA, in terms of Bitcoin price action, everything looks bad. It looks bad, it looks overbought, everything's depreciating slowly, and we'll probably see a drop. That's what the TA says on Bitcoin chart. But on the DXY, for example, we do have a potential for a saving grace here. And this conflicting data is why I would suggest that no one makes any real moves, any proper moves, until either one of these ranges is broken, until 25k is broken or until 21.9k is broken. I am considering this zone a no trade zone for the most part. All right, that's what I'm going to be considering this zone on Bitcoin, a no trade zone for the most part. Until we break 22k, 21.9k, or 25k, I will be taking conservative trades on altcoins. I won't be touching Bitcoin. That's my personal opinion on this range. Now, as for the monthly chart, this is something I did want to look into quite a bit, taking a bit of a macro picture. We do know the macro strength on Bitcoin is upwards. I do think the bottom is in personally, and we did break above quite a few major zones. For example, this RSI resistance, we broke it last month, and we also broke back above this green line here, which was previously a very strong support zone and hence a resistance zone. We saw a very good, very nice bullish engulfing candle, but we've actually come straight into another monthly chart resistance. Okay, and that monthly chart resistance is stemming from these two candles we saw in July and August, and also from the candle we saw last month. So right now, what we're looking at in the monthly chart is we need to see a close, a monthly candle close in 24 days above 23.4k, right? And if we see a monthly candle close below 19.3k, we're in very bad territory. So that 23.4k to 19.3k range on the monthly chart is something I will be keeping a very, very close eye on as well. Okay, guys. That's basically the video. That's all I really wanted to cover. Just kind of reminding you guys, yeah, the short-term TA is bad. Yeah, the daily chart, 4-hourly chart, it looks bad. But there is kind of a saving grace here for Bitcoin. And for that reason, if the charts do look a little bit too complex for me to want to be entering in this range, I'm going to be waiting for a range breakout. And I do suggest, well, I'm not going to suggest anything. You guys can do what you want, but that's what I'm personally doing. So without further ado, let's end the video there by looking at the Crypto Academy. If you want to learn how to analyze charts, you want to learn how to trade the same way I trade, myself and Mega Crypto have developed this course here, Become a Trader 10-unit course. It's literally in the title, Become a Trader. You can go from someone who has basically no market experience to someone who is essentially having enough experience to become a career trader using this course, right? You've got lifetime access to the course once you buy it. It's got 10 units. It's got around 400 slides. It's got around 80 videos, 8 worksheets and a trading diary, everything you need there with lifetime access. There's 87 students right now, and you can ultimately message us on the Crypto Academy courses at gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with all the relevant information and answer any questions you might have about the course. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you tomorrow in the next one.